Hi, so today I'm going to read to you chapter 7 of Social Studies. And the crazy thing is, even though we missed a lot of school, we somehow got farther than I normally do. I was trying to push the revolution and the Bill of Rights so we could get to that part when we were supposed to in reading. And therefore, we're really where a lot of kids get to in 5th grade. So that's good news. So I'm not going to take this super fast. I'm probably just going to read 2 pages today. And every day you'll get a little bit more knowledge. If you have a book, for whatever reason, we're on page 226. This is called Washington Takes Office. In April of 1789, George Washington left Mount Vernon, his home in Virginia, to travel to New York City. You can visit Mount Vernon for his inauguration. An inauguration is an official ceremony to make someone president. So if you heard him say, or them say, he went to New York City. Now when we have a president become president, that's in Washington, D.C. Standing on the balcony of Federal Hall, he placed one hand on the Bible. I do solemnly swear, promise, and said Washington, that I will fully execute, not execute like kill, but execute like do to the full extent. I will faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States, and I will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. With these words, George Washington became the first president of the United States, the first president. Several months before, on February 4th, 1789, the Electoral College had elected George Washington be president. The Electoral College is a group of people chosen by each state to vote for the president and vice president. The number of electors from each state equals its 2 senators plus the number of members of his House of Representatives. So in Indiana, we have 11. So remember, we talked about that Electoral College. If you want to Google that while I'm reading, you could Google that and Google the Electoral College, and you'll see that I believe California has 55 states or 55 delegates. So when we talk about the primaries, we're talking about those delegates. You want those delegates. When we're running for president, you want those delegates. Technically, Hillary Clinton won because she had more delegates. She won the popular vote. More people voted for her. But Trump won because he had more Electoral College votes. So the Electoral College is a group of people chosen by each state to vote for the president and vice president. The number of electors from each state equals its 2 senators plus its number of members in the House of Representatives. In the election of 1789, all of the electors voted for Washington, which is pretty rare. No president since then has been elected unanimously. John Adams, a longtime patriot, was elected vice president. Soon after Washington became president, Congress created different departments within the executive branch. For example, the Department of the State was created to handle relations with other countries. The Department of Treasury dealt with the nation's finances. For those of you who like Hamilton, you are probably familiar with that. Washington chose one person called a secretary to run each of the departments. He picked Thomas Jefferson as the Secretary of State. So that's when you listen to Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson's like coming back from France. That's because he was Secretary of State. And Alexander Hamilton as the Secretary of Treasury. Henry Knox, who had been in the Army with Washington, became the Secretary of War. As the Attorney General, Edmund Randolph advised Washington on legal issues. The group of advisors became known as the President's Cabinet. They met often to help Washington govern. The creation of the cabinet is an example of the practice begun by Washington that continued after he left office. So you have the position of Secretary of State was Thomas Jefferson. The position of Secretary of Treasury was Alexander Hamilton, the money. Position of Secretary of War was Henry Knox, and the Attorney General was Edmund Randolph. So the Secretary of State handles relations with other countries. Secretary of Treasury deals with national money matters. Secretary of War conducts war and protects the nation. And the Attorney General handles issues in law enforcement. So we're going to stop there.